Well, hello there. Welcome aboard. Hey, what's that? If you were situationally aware, you would have known. You would have seen it coming. Being a girl in this world is just different. Things that women have to kind of maybe worry about a lot more than guys do. And one of those things is personal safety. So I wanted to go over what situational awareness is. Situational awareness is the ability to read not only your situation, but to read people, their behaviors, and of course the environment around you. All good things to have as a human being in this world, but especially for young ones. Situational awareness is something that the military has been trained in, which is the ability to go into a foreign environment and to be able to read people's behaviors, because sometimes your enemy is not wearing the enemy's uniform. The only way to beat your enemy is to know the enemy and understand how they work. So basically what you're doing is you're doing like counter surveillance. So you're trying to observe behaviors or observe things within your environment that could potentially lead to a problem. There's a color code for situational awareness that was developed by Colonel Jeff Cooper. So the colors are white, yellow, orange, red. So you're gonna have code white, which I don't know if you guys ever remember. There's like a picture that was going around on Facebook and Instagram. There was like a picture of the Lion King where there was Simba and Mufasa, and they're sitting together looking out, at their kingdom.
Simba, you must never go there.
That is the color white. If you are out in public, you don't want to be white.
Waits for racist jokes, waits for racist insults.
You don't want to be in the color white. So color white is something you do when you're sleeping at your own home, but you're oblivious to what's going on around you. You're distracted. Your head's down. If you ever see someone talking on the phone as they're pushing their cart through the parking lot?
Oh my gosh, yes, Becky, did you see her butt? It was so big.
That's white. Full damn, you're an easy target. You don't do that. Just don't. The good news about code white, criminals love you. You are like what they are looking for. Really easy to sneak up on someone when they're distracted, when they're not paying attention, or they're just oblivious to what's going on around them. You would just scream, "Pick me!" You're out in public, you always want to be yellow. You're aware of your environment, you're aware of the people around you. You're not stressed out, you're not in a state of alarm, you're simply just aware of your surroundings. Which, if you want to even be able to stop and smell the roses, you have to see that they're there. It's just a general awareness, and it's a luxury. You can't get surprised if you start out with code yellow, but if you go from like code white and all of a sudden there's an issue going on and you have to jump to code red, you just missed out on like ample time to prepare. Code orange, on the other hand, you're not quite in a state of alarm. Nothing necessarily has happened. However, you're a little bit more alert. Code orange just means something specific that has caught your attention. You realize like,
that's a little out of the ordinary.
So yellow is a general awareness. Code orange is something specific has now captured your attention. So here's an example. This is a true story. There's a young man who goes to the bar, with his buddies or whatever, and he leaves. His buddies want to leave a little bit early. He decides he wants to stick around till the bar closes. The bar closes at 3. So at 3 o'clock, this guy has been drinking all night, completely drunk, just stumbling around, trying to go look for a taxi or whatever he's doing, because you don't drink and drive. So anyway, he's walking down, he decides, hey, I see, down this alley or whatever, and you guys know where this is going. Down this alley, there is a taxi on that street. So he walks down this alley to go flag down this taxi on the other end of the street. Well, of course, who's waiting in a dark alley at 3:30 in the morning? People don't just hang out there for fun. So this man, unfortunately, he just gets beat within an inch of his life. He's in the hospital, his face is just ballooned, his stitches bruised up or whatever, and it was a gang initiation that evening, unfortunately. Code orange, to a normal person who's walking down the street at 3 in the morning, is gonna go,
I'm gonna take a shortcut. Ooh, wait a second. There's a group of people at the end of this. Code orange, I don't have a situation yet, but this is highly likely that it's going to turn into a situation where I'm gonna have a problem.
That's definitely a situation that's gonna pique your interest. That's code orange. When you are in color code yellow and you have that awareness, your chance of survival and or avoiding anything from happening increases 25% just by being aware. Because when you are aware of what's going on, you can see little opportunities that maybe something could happen here, or hey, if something does happen, it's probably that person. Here's an exit, I'll go this way. When you are in color code orange, your chance of survival has now increased to 50% more than it would be if you just got surprised. You've already in your mind kind of created just this general plan. If so-and-so does something, I am doing this. And that's when you get into code red. Code red basically is time to go. You know, it's action time. Code orange, possible threat detected. Code red, threat initiated. Once you're in code red, you are now going to enact on the plan that you've made in code orange. Code red gets initiated when whomever or whatever threat you detected in code orange now has basically tripped the alarm, tripped the trigger, it's go time. You're either booking it as fast as you can, or you now have to engage your enemy. You can't avoid this attack. It's going to happen. Now, if that just comes out of the blue and because you're in code white, ooh! The idea of situational awareness is it's this method you can use to conduct counter surveillance on people. Think about it. If you are an animal in the animal kingdom, you don't just randomly wake up and be like, oh, I'm a lion, and you go attack this like baby gazelle. That's not how that works. You see these animals stalk their prey because they are looking for a specific kind. They're not going to go after the young and agile guy that's like, yeah, I'm going to go get this water buffalo. Don't go after that because that's too much work. If you're a lion out in the safari, you might not have eaten for a month. Like, you don't have the energy to and the resources to waste on doing that. So you're going to look for an animal that's an easy target, a weak one, a small one, one that's not paying attention, one that has wandered off. When you are in code white, that's what you look like. These people aren't going to go target someone that's confident because confident people are going to put up too much of a fight. Don't want to deal with that. Let's say the hottest man or woman just walked into your class and all of a sudden it's just like, you don't know why. You didn't choose to be attracted to that person. You're just attracted to that person and you can just spot them out of a crowd. So if there's a crowd of 100 people, all of a sudden you just like, oh my gosh, that was like the finest thing I've ever seen in my life. If you get out of your car and you're already distracted or
I'm really depressed. I just hate my losing a bad hair day.
all of a sudden they're like, ooh, that's easy. You know what I mean? They are drawn to that. That's exactly what, as a criminal, they're attracted to. Walk like you know what you're doing, dude. All they have to judge you on is your body language. So if you just show up like, dude, you might as well have like a huge like spotlight on you. I don't have confidence, like I'm gonna be caught off guard and surprised and I'm not gonna like fight off. Don't do that. Don't be that person, please. Seriously, just don't. So what you want to do, what makes someone a hard target, which is what you want to be, someone who is purposeful, their body language is confident, wherever they're walking, with their direction they're going to, it's very purposeful movement. Someone who provides this criminal no opportunity for them to be surprised. That's what they want. They need to be able to surprise people, which is why they're going to go pick people that are distracted. 2 months ago, get off work, I'm going to the grocery store. So now I walk into the store, and what I always do as I'm actually like still in my car, I open the door, lock it, and then I get out of the car. At this point, I always just look around. At this point, it's just a habit. I'm just a curious person, so I'm just like, hey, what's, you know, cool. Sometimes it's just to remember where I parked. So anyway, I get out of my car, and I see a car probably like 2 parking spaces over, or 2 parking lanes over. Not parking space, but like there's an aisle, and then there's like the next row of cars. So in that one, so there's just, it's like an older car, and there's just 2 guys sitting in the car. I get out of the store, I go into the store, and I get my stuff, and I leave, and I didn't even park that far from the store. However, as I'm walking out, I'm pushing my cart, and just spidey senses, okay? I'm like, why are they still here? And I know sometimes, like, I get looked at by a lot of guys out in public, but this was weird because you have 2 people that are just like, as soon as I'm walking out of the store, I have my, you know, my purse on my shoulder, I'm pushing my grocery cart. And the entire time, both of them, they're going like this. They're following me to my car. Now, if you're a woman, especially if you're an attractive woman, it's not uncommon that guys are looking at you or that other people are looking at you. However, think about this. When you make eye contact with someone out in public, you never just go like, okay? It's usually something like, oh, I noticed you, and you look away. There's a difference between that and something that maybe takes like an extra second, okay? They're staring a little too long. So for example, if I don't know you, we're just walking past each other at the store, it's like, you look away. Now, half a second longer, watch how this feels, okay? You notice it, like there's something is like, ooh, that was like half a second too long, like that was either, there's something more than just like, hey, I acknowledge your existence. So, these people are watching me, and think about what an animal does to its prey. It stalks it. It's watching it. It's surveying, like, when's the right time to pounce? Like, is this the right target I want to get? I gotta watch, I don't want to lose it. You know what I mean? So now I have seen this, so I don't stare at them, because obviously, like, think about in the animal kingdom, if you and your prey are eyeing each other down, just staring, whoever looks away loses. So that's not what you want to do, especially if it's you're in maybe a bad neighborhood and there's gangs and stuff. They are going to take that as like,
You gonna stare at me? Okay, that's fine. You're challenging me? Okay.
and just with some of the gang mentality that gangs have, you can't lose your respect. So if someone's eyeing you down and they're threatening you, you don't just back off. Like, you know, all the other gang guys are like,
What you gonna do about that?
so what you do is you acknowledge their existence, and you maybe just stare half a second longer just so they know that you saw them. And here's the thing, they know their intentions. They know what they came there to do. They don't know necessarily that you know that, but because they know that and someone stares at them and acknowledges them, they're gonna go like,
Ooh, maybe someone's onto me.
I'm not here to challenge someone, but I'm letting them know I see you. And I'm going to do that every so often. Now I'm going to scan, look at you as I'm walking, scan. I'm going to look again, just so you know. I'm like, I got my eye on you just as much as you have your eye on me. I'm aware of you. They kept staring. So if you're an animal in the animal kingdom, what are you doing? You're deciding,
Where's my opportunity?
I'm going to go about my business. I put the cart next to my car, and a lot of people, you know, they'll put their grocery cart here, and they'll lift the trunk, and they'll put their stuff in the car. But I have my back to you. I don't want my back to you. The reason why, I am going to eliminate as many opportunities for those people to surprise me as possible. I do not want to be surprised, and I'm not going to give them an opportunity to surprise me. So what I do, I have my cart here. I'm going to go like this. When I come back over here to get the next bag, you just look at them. Now, so as I'm putting the stuff in my car, what do these guys do? They scoot up a little bit closer. Now in my head, I'm going, you guys, you know, after all of that, you're still comfortable getting closer to me. What, you just need to figure out, like,
Let me get a little bit closer and what she's gonna do.
you move on to the next target. That's what you do. You'll move on, but these people didn't. So now my spidey senses are going, these people have been staring at me before I went into the store, after I came out of the store. They followed me the whole way. And not only that, they started, like, they're staring at me in their car. Every time I would make eye contact. Now I'm going, okay, if you do that one more time, or if one of you gets out of the car, if one of you does something. Right now you're in orange. Once someone has tripped your trigger and they do something, you now have to act. You have to get off the X, basically. Close the trunk, I put my cart back, and these guys, now they're closer, they just drive really slowly. They come back around through the aisle, and now they're driving right by me this whole time. I'm just like, I'm acknowledging them, but I'm kind of just like, whatever. Like, really, guys, come on. Now, here's why the situation, which right now you go,
Nothing happened, Emily. What if it was a coincidence?
Are you willing to bet your life on that? Like, I don't get, like, I'm not. 2 days later, guess what I read online? 2 men, they had been able to find a young woman who was oblivious, wasn't paying attention, whatever, and this is not on her. You don't blame the victim, because no matter what, a-holes still shouldn't be a-holes. So 2 days later, guess what I read online? 2 young men who just happened to look like the description given in this article that I had seen. Same car type, same car color, and same car model. Did this. 2 days later, same parking lot, assaulted a woman. That's interesting. Guess what they were doing? Trying to find a victim. Guess what prevented me from being their victim, and what can prevent you from being someone's victim? You become a hard target. You've outwitted them. You catch on to them. You carry yourself in such a way that says, I wouldn't do that if I were you. I will put up a fight. I will be loud. And if you come anywhere closer to me, if you do any such thing, I have a means to defend myself, and I will do it. And if you're willing to assault me, you might accidentally kill me. How do I know that you're not trying to kill me? I have no idea. These things happen, which means if my life and my safety is in jeopardy, I will now be fighting you with everything I have in me, as if you are threatening my life, because I don't know if you are or not. But if you are attacking me, if you have a taser, tase them. If you have a gun, use it. If you have pepper spray, use it. You don't have to be polite to people in that situations. I think what happens, especially for young girls and even little boys when we're growing up, we would say like, Tommy, be nice. Little Susie, that wasn't very nice. You need to be a good girl. So what do we grow up? We grow up thinking like, oh my gosh, you have to just treat people, you have to give everyone the benefit of a doubt and just be a good girl, be a nice boy.
Frick no!
If you give me the feeling, I'm not going to be polite to you. I would rather be wrong and offend someone or hurt someone's feeling, be wrong and tell them you need to back up, than to be wrong and now I and my life are in jeopardy. You do not need to give people the benefit of a doubt like that. If something is abnormal and your spidey senses have kicked in, it's because they have kicked in for a reason. Someone is doing something abnormal. We have instincts for a reason. We were given instincts because they work. There's a quote I said, when you trust in yourself, you trust in the wisdom of the creator that created you. Think about that. You have instincts for a reason. We were given those for a reason. So if someone is getting a little too close to me and they're doing something abnormal, which most people don't do, I need to be a little bit more on alert here. And people go, I don't want to be paranoid. I don't want to have to live in a world where I can't even get out of my car and go get a cantaloupe at the grocery store without worrying that someone's going to attack me. And you shouldn't have to. None of us should have to live in a world like that, but we do. It's not about paranoia. Paranoia is something that happens when you are caught off guard, when you feel unprepared to handle a certain situation. You don't know what you're going to do. What if someone does this? I don't know what I'm going to do. When you're prepared, your level of anxiety and fear is going to drop down. That doesn't mean you just feel super safe and you're just like, yeah, like I'm just gonna lounge here in the middle of Compton.
Cause I'm not gonna live in fear, mother. I'm not gonna live in fear, y'all.
You know, obviously you don't do that. So what I would say to people, you prepare yourself as best you can, and a lot of unprovoked attacks are going to be preventable or avoidable because you're going to see the possibility or the potential for them before something happens. Or if you maybe invest in some pepper spray or something, you give yourself these means of defense that make you feel powerful, that should something happen, I will be able to defend myself and I will do my best to defend myself. So it gives you power, it gives you confidence. It feels a lot better knowing that I have something I can use should that happen. And like I said earlier, if someone attacks me, after viewing my body language, after watching me and how I behave and how I interact with them at a distance, such as making eye contact, if someone still decides to do that and they just get maced in the face because they decided they were going to try to attack you, that person is really dumb, because seasoned criminals are going to be like,
dude, amateur move. You don't go for one like that.
people are going to cause a scene, they're going to be loud, they're going to fight back, they're not going to, you know what I mean? And that's unfortunately why you see a lot of people that we should be protecting in our society, in our culture. If you see people that are abusing elderly people or children, or just people that don't necessarily have that means to defend themselves, there's a reason those people get targeted. It's because it's easy, and that's disgusting, and that's deplorable. And I refuse to surrender my power to someone that is deplorable and that wants to do nothing good for me. If you don't want to do anything good for me, we either need to never interact, or I'm going to have means to defend myself. What I would tell a lot of people who don't want to live in that paranoia is like, don't think of it that way. Like, you want to know what I feel like? You kind of just feel like James Bond. You know what I mean? Like, does James Bond walk around like, you know, no, James Bond is like, I own this situation right now. Like, walk around feeling like that. If you're going, I don't want to have to, like, every time I'm walking through the parking lot to my car, I don't want to have to be like this and like that. I'm like, don't think of it that way. Like, kind of have fun with it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're cool, calm, and collected. What would James Bond do? James Bond is cool, calm, and collected. So you're just noticing, and it kind of feels like you're outsmarting them a little bit, you know, like you're a better poker player, like, I got my poker face. So practice your situational awareness, you know what I mean? Notice the flowers around you, notice a bird singing, because half the time, like, we'll hear birds, and until someone goes, oh, that bird song is so pretty, you're like,
oh yeah, I didn't even like, there's birds.
You don't want to give your power away to these people do not deserve your power, so If you just walk in that situation with confidence, if you're shaking in your boots, just pretend you're not. Pilot Jag is James Bond. You can have that James Bond mentality. You're cool, calm, collected. And I feel a lot more confident if I'm not putting the fate of my life and my destiny in someone else's hand who wants to destroy me. So you don't get to do that to me. Sorry, my life, not yours. You do not get to take it. As always, this is your Pilot Jag signing out, and I hope you have a great day. And as always, drive safe, have a blast, and make someone else stay better than yours.